Black CEO denied service at her own jewelry store. 9 minutes later, she fires the manager. Imagine walking into a store you own, the very business you built from the ground up, only to be humiliated and treated like you don't belong. That's exactly what happened to a successful Black CEO when she decided to pay a surprise visit to one of her luxury jewelry boutiques. What was meant to be a quick stop turned into a moment of public humiliation that would soon shake the entire staff to their core. Little did the arrogant manager know, he was about to lose everything in less than 10 minutes. Before we continue this story, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and like this video so we can bring you even more amazing stories like this one. The CEO, Monique Johnson, was not just any businesswoman. She was a visionary who had started her jewelry empire from a tiny workshop in her garage, turning raw talent and relentless drive into a global luxury brand. Her boutiques were known for their exquisite diamonds, bespoke designs, and celebrity clientele. But behind the glitz and glamour was a woman who never forgot her humble beginnings. On a quiet Thursday afternoon, Monique decided to visit one of her flagship stores unannounced. She believed that the best way to understand her customers' experiences was to see it firsthand. No entourage, no bodyguards, no assistants, just her. She slipped into a simple black dress, tied her hair back, and walked in casually, blending in with the crowd. The store itself was breathtaking, glass cases glittering with carefully arranged jewelry, soft golden lighting and velvet-lined counters that spoke of luxury and elegance. But behind the sparkle, Monique was looking for something more: the human touch, the service, the respect that defined her brand. What she encountered instead was a moment that would test her patience and ignite a firestorm of accountability. The manager on duty didn't see a CEO. He didn't see the woman whose signature was on every employee's paycheck. He saw only what his prejudice allowed him to see: a black woman he assumed could never afford to shop there. As Monique stepped into the boutique, she immediately felt the shift in atmosphere. A couple of sales associates glanced up briefly but made no move to greet her. Their eyes flicked past her, settling quickly on a white couple admiring a display of diamond rings. Undeterred, Monique walked toward a display case where a stunning emerald necklace shimmered under the lights. She leaned in closer, admiring the craftsmanship. Ironically, a piece she had personally designed months earlier. But before she could even ask to see it, the store manager swooped in. With a thin smile that didn't reach his eyes, he placed himself between her and the display. "That piece," he said curtly, "is extremely expensive. Maybe you'd like to look at something more affordable?" His tone was dripping with condescension, loud enough for others in the store to hear. Monique felt a heat rise in her chest, but she remained calm. She politely asked if she could view the necklace. The manager's eyes narrowed, and instead of retrieving it, he shook his head. "I don't think this is in your price range. We don't allow customers to handle merchandise they clearly can't buy. Perhaps you should try a different store down the street." The words cut deep, not because she couldn't afford it, but because she knew countless others had endured similar humiliation, judged solely by the color of their skin. Around them, other shoppers stared, some whispering, some avoiding eye contact altogether. Still composed, Monique asked again, this time requesting to see the store's director. The manager smirked. "I am the manager here, and I don't have time to waste. Please leave before I call security." It was a moment that could have broken anyone's spirit, but for Monique, it was a turning point. She didn't need to raise her voice or argue. Instead, she calmly reached into her handbag, pulled out her phone, and made a single call. The store manager watched with smug satisfaction as Monique dialed her phone. He assumed she was calling a friend to vent, or perhaps trying to bluff her way into staying longer. What he didn't realize was that she had just called the company's head of operations. Within minutes, a well-dressed regional director rushed through the boutique's glass doors, his face pale and tense. He spotted Monique instantly, his expression shifting from surprise to dread. He hurried over, greeting her with a respectful bow of his head. The murmurs among the customers grew louder. "Ms. Johnson," the director said firmly, his voice carrying through the store. "I came as soon as I received your call." The manager's smugness evaporated instantly. His eyes darted between Monique and the director, confusion turning into horror. "Wait, Ms. Johnson," he stammered. The regional director's tone was icy. "This is Monique Johnson, the founder and CEO of this company, the woman who built this brand from nothing. And you dared to deny her service in her own store. Gasps rippled through the boutique. The associates froze in place, their eyes wide. Customers whispered in disbelief. The manager's face drained of color as the weight of his actions crashed down on him. Monique said nothing. She didn't need to. Her silence was louder than any argument. The regional director turned to the manager, his voice cutting like steel. "You're finished. Collect your things. Security will escort you out." The man's protests fell on deaf ears as security arrived. In less than 9 minutes from the moment Monique had entered, the manager who had humiliated her was escorted out of the very store he once ruled. As silence settled over the boutique, Monique finally spoke, not to scold, but to remind. She addressed the remaining employees, her voice calm but firm. This company was built on a vision of beauty, dignity, and respect. Every customer who walks through those doors deserves to feel valued. If you cannot see past the color of someone's skin to treat them with respect, then you have no place here. Her words carried more weight than the glittering diamonds in the cases around them. The associates nodded, shame reflected in their faces. They had seen the ugliness of prejudice exposed, and it was a lesson they would never forget. Monique didn't just leave after firing the manager. She spent the next hour walking the floor, speaking directly with customers, shaking hands, and ensuring that the store was run with the warmth and respect she had always envisioned. For the shoppers who had witnessed the incident, it became a story they would tell for years, a reminder that racism can exist anywhere, even behind the polished glass of luxury stores, and that it can be challenged when confronted with courage and authority. The fallout was swift. News of the incident spread through company channels, and Monique mandated new anti-discrimination training across all her stores. The incident wasn't just about one manager. It was about exposing a deeper issue and making sure it was addressed. As she left the store that evening, Monique reflected on the irony. The necklace she had been denied was her own creation, but more than jewelry, she had reclaimed something priceless: dignity, justice, and a renewed commitment to making her empire a place where respect wasn't optional, but required. And as this story reminds us, prejudice may still try to hide behind titles, uniforms, or polite smiles, but when confronted, it crumbles. The question remains: if you were in Monique's place, would you have had the strength to stay silent and let your actions speak louder than words?